I burned the turkey on purpose. Not because I'm a bad cook. I made Thanksgiving dinner for 12 years straight without a single disaster. But this year, when my husband asked me to pretend we were divorced in front of his family, I decided that Bird deserved to suffer as much as I did. Let me back up. My name is Charlotte, and I thought I knew my husband. Daniel and I met 14 years ago, fell in love over coffee and Sunday pancakes, and built a life that wasn't glamorous but was ours. He worked as an accountant. I taught fourth grade. We had a modest house, a golden retriever named Biscuit, and the kind of marriage where post-it notes on mirrors said, "You're going to do great today." Then came this Thanksgiving. Daniel's family always hosted. His mother Patricia ran a perfect table. His father Richard was the quiet, approving nod type. His brother Marcus was a surgeon with a pristine family. I usually loved these gatherings despite Patricia's occasional digs about my teaching career. But this year felt wrong from the moment we got in the car. Daniel was silent, knuckles white on the steering wheel, glancing at me like he was memorizing my face. "You okay?" I asked. He flinched. "We need to talk," he said, his voice hollow. "Before we get there." Those 4 words have never preceded anything good. He pulled into a gas station parking lot and turned off the engine. "I need you to pretend we're divorced," he said, staring through the windshield. "At dinner today." "I need my family to think we're separated." I laughed. It was too absurd to be real. "Just for today," he continued. "I'll explain everything tonight. But I need you to trust me." "Are we actually getting divorced?" I asked quietly. "No, God, no, I love you." "But I can't explain right now." "Please, Charlie." 14 years of trust hadn't quite run dry. "Fine. But you better have a damn good explanation." Walking into that house was surreal. When Patricia asked how we'd been, Daniel said, "Fine." Separately. The table went silent. "Mom, Charlie and I have been separated for a few months. We're working through some things." Patricia's face drained of color. "You're separated?" "It's recent," I heard myself say, hating every word. "We're handling it privately." The dinner dissolved into chaos. Patricia cried. Richard looked furious. Marcus kept shooting Daniel meaningful looks. And I sat there wondering what the hell I'd agreed to. That's when I got up and burned the turkey. Opened the oven and just left it. Watched it char. It felt symbolic. "We're leaving," I told Daniel. Now. The car ride home was silent. When we arrived, I went straight to the bedroom and closed the door. Daniel slept on the couch. The next morning, the doorbell rang at 7:30 a.m. Daniel's face went white. "Don't answer it." But I was already opening the door to a postal worker holding a registered letter. The return address read, Whitmore and Associates. "Open it," Daniel whispered. The letter made my vision blur. "Dear Mrs. Brennan, we are writing regarding your husband, Daniel Brennan, and his biological father, Richard Brennan. As per Mr. Richard Brennan's recent passing and the reading of his will," I stopped. "Your father is dead?" "Keep reading," Daniel said, tears streaming down his face. His entire estate, valued approximately $8.7 million, is to be divided equally among his surviving children, with one stipulation. No child currently married at the time of his death shall receive their inheritance. This clause was inserted due to Mr. Brennan's desire to ensure his wealth would not be diluted by matrimonial division. Your husband stands to inherit approximately $4.35 million. However, due to your current marital status, he is not eligible unless he can demonstrate that he was separated or divorced at the time of his father's death. Mr. Richard Brennan passed away on Tuesday, November 26th, at 6:47 p.m., 2 days before Thanksgiving. Your father died before Thanksgiving, I said slowly. Before you asked me to pretend we were divorced. You wanted witnesses. Your whole family, hearing us say we'd been separated. So you could claim you weren't married when he died. So you could get the money. It's not like that. Then what is it like, Daniel? He collapsed into a chair. He called me 3 days ago. Said he was dying. Said he was sorry about the will, that he'd been trying to change it, but never got around to it. The lawyer said there was no time. So you decided to lie, to manipulate, to humiliate me. I panicked. $4 million, Charlie. That's security. That's retirement. That's you choosing money over our marriage. The silence was deafening. I looked at the letter again, catching a paragraph I'd missed. Please note, Mr. Marcus Brennan has already testified that to his knowledge, Daniel and Charlotte were happily married at the time of his father's death. As such, without clear evidence to the contrary, the inheritance will be forfeit and directed to the designated charitable organizations. I started laughing. Your brother already told them we were married. Your whole plan failed before it started. Daniel's face crumpled. He called last night, said he couldn't lie, that it wasn't right. So you destroyed our Thanksgiving, humiliated us both, asked me to commit fraud, and you're not even getting the money. I'm so sorry, he whispered. The really devastating part? I understood. Not the choice he made. That was indefensible. But the panic that led to it. The split-second decision when faced with a dying father and a life-changing sum of money and no time to think clearly. I understood being human and flawed and capable of terrible judgment, but understanding didn't mean forgiving. Not yet, maybe not ever. I need you to leave, I said. What? I need you to pack a bag and go stay with Marcus or get a hotel or I don't care where. But I can't look at you right now. Charlie, please. Go, Daniel. He went. I spent the next 3 days alone with Biscuit, drinking too much wine and crying too much and trying to figure out if a marriage could survive something like this. The betrayal wasn't infidelity or abuse. It was something more insidious, a moment where he'd weighed me against millions of dollars and, for just a second, he'd chosen wrong. On the 4th day, there was a knock at the door. It was Patricia. She came in without asking, set a covered dish on the counter turkey soup, salvaged from the disaster bird, and sat down across from me at the kitchen table. Daniel told me everything, she said. And I told him he's an idiot. Despite everything, I smiled a little. Richard was many things, Patricia continued, but he wasn't cruel. He wrote that will when he was young and paranoid about gold diggers after his business took off. He spent the last decade trying to change it, but never got around to it. Classic Richard, always thinking he had more time than he did. I'm sorry for your loss, I said, meaning it. I'm sorry for yours too, she replied. The loss of trust is its own kind of death. We sat in silence for a while. Do you love him? She finally asked. Yes, but I don't know if that's enough anymore. It might not be, Patricia said. Love is necessary but not sufficient, as Richard used to say. You need love and respect and trust. Daniel broke one of those pillars. Maybe you can rebuild it. Maybe you can't. Either way, the choice is yours, not his. She left me with the soup and her wisdom. That night, Daniel came home. I told him he could, but that we needed to talk. We sat on opposite ends of the couch, the same couch where he'd slept, the same couch where we'd watched 1,000 movies, the same couch where he'd proposed all those years ago with a ring hidden in the popcorn bowl. I don't know if I can do this, I said. I don't know if I can forgive you. I know. You chose money over me. I did. And I will regret that for the rest of my life. The really messed up part? I looked at him. If you just told me about the will, about your dad calling, about his regret over the stipulation, if you'd just been honest and said, Charlie, I'm tempted to do something terrible for money, I would have talked you through it. We would have figured it out together. We could have mourned your father together. Instead, you shut me out and made me an unwitting accomplice to fraud. I know, he said again. I know, and I'm sorry, and I will spend however long it takes proving to you that I'm better than the worst decision I ever made. I wanted to believe him. God, I wanted to believe him. I need time, I said, and I need space. And I need you to go to therapy, and we need to go to couples counseling. And I need you to understand that I might do all of that and still decide to leave. Okay, he said. Okay, whatever you need. That was 8 months ago. We're still in counseling. Daniel stayed with Marcus for 2 months while we worked through the worst of it. He's back home now, but we sleep with a metaphorical wall between us that gets a little smaller each week. The inheritance went to charity specifically, to a foundation that helps families dealing with elder care and estate planning issues. There's an irony in that isn't lost on either of us. Daniel's father was cremated, and we scattered his ashes in the garden last month. I said a prayer for a man I'd loved who'd made mistakes in life and whose final mistake had nearly destroyed his son's marriage. I'm not sure if we'll make it. Some days I look at Daniel and see the man I married. Other days I see the man who asked me to pretend we were divorced, and I feel that betrayal all over again. But I'm trying. We're trying. Because here's what I learned. Love isn't just about the good moments, the coffee shop meetings, and the post-it notes and the Sunday pancakes. It's also about what you do when someone you love reveals they're capable of disappointing you in ways you never imagined. It's about deciding whether the whole person is worth the broken part. I don't know the answer yet, but I'm still here, and so is he, and maybe that's enough for now. Last week I made Thanksgiving dinner again. Just the two of us, no family, no pressure. The turkey was perfect. We ate in silence mostly, but it was a different kind of silence than before, less hostile, more contemplative. As we cleared the dishes, Daniel said, "Thank you." For what? For not giving up on me immediately. For giving me a chance to be better. I didn't respond. I wasn't sure I had the words. But later that night, I found a post-it note on the bathroom mirror. "You're the best thing that ever happened to me. And I'm sorry I forgot that for even a second." I left it there. I'm still deciding if sorry is enough. If love without trust can rebuild. If a marriage can survive the weight of $4 million in hypothetical money and one very real betrayal. Ask me again in a year, or maybe 10. For now, I'm just taking it one day at a time, one piece of broken trust at a time, one cautious hope at a time. And I haven't burned a turkey since.